To this day.
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 What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Edgar Berlanga Jr. I gave you guys a take on how I felt about Edgar, and I think he is a powerhouse fighter. I think, he has a good punch, and I think that he is a guy that has somewhat of potential. But my take on Edgar is the fact that I think if he keeps moving up, I think he's going to lose. Because I think the one thing that he hasn't learned, and I don't think he will ever learn, is skill. I think he's one-dimensional. I think he's looking for one punch. And when you're doing that, you can easily be beat by somebody that's not, okay? Especially when he starts to climb the rankings. And I can't help but to think about Jeff Lacy. Jeff Lacy was a guy that was knocking people out. They used to call him the Little Holyfield. He was a hooker, just like Edgar Berlanga is. Big boy, stocky. You know what I mean? These guys have some size on them. And when they land, they can rock some stuff up. But if they can land, what we seen with Edgar Berlanga fighting a guy like Steve Rolls with only one loss himself. This was supposed to be a showcase fight where Berlanga supposed to came out and he failed us. Okay, and these type of fights happen. And we do know about the sport of boxing, right? We do know that Steve Rolls was carefully selected. Carefully selected. He was selected because he was a guy that was low risk. He was a guy that nobody really worried about him knocking anybody out. His record was good enough, okay, to make it appear good when Edgar knocks his block off. See, to follow behind Gennady Golovkin and do what Gennady Golovkin did to a guy that's never been done that before, which he was undefeated when Golovkin knocked him or stopped him, is a great accomplishment. So fair play to the promoters of Edgar Berlanga, okay? Because they wanted him to emulate what Golovkin did, and then some. But he couldn't do that, and in fact, a lot of people thought he lost. I didn't see the first 4 rounds because I was wrapping up the Blair Cobbs fight and Alexis fight, right? But I've watched it over, and I'm looking, and that was a close fight. 97 to 93 wasn't close enough. The first scorecard kind of made more sense. But as far as Edgar Berlanga, the way he spoke after that tells me everything. Everything that I need to know about him. He's a guy that I think, because of his unblemished record, because of his high knockout percentage, because of the hype, because of the buildup, I think that has made him arrogant or prideful, and when you're prideful, when you're proud or you're arrogant, it's impossible to be humble. And then if it's impossible to be humble, it's possible, or should I say it's impossible to learn anything. See, we expected him with Andre Rozier to learn something. I'm not saying that Andre didn't do his job. I'm saying that it didn't matter what Andre told him. He was going to do the same thing when he got in the ring. One-dimensional, looking for one punch at a time, looking for the KO against someone that's 37 years old, that has been in there, someone that knows, hey, I know how to box. I might not have the punching power behind me like a Berlanga, but hey, I know how to stay in there. I know how to survive. And that's exactly what he did. But he did that and then some. Okay. People show you where they're at. They definitely show you where they're at in the sport. and he's past the prospect level. Okay. Now he's at the contender level. And we'll see what he does in the next coming fights. I mean, I hope he learned something, but him saying, oh, these guys are going to run, obviously he has no fucking idea what boxing is. He doesn't. And that's what people say. Okay, that's what a casual would think, and that's what someone in experience would say and believe. Oh, he's just running from me. No, he's using the ring like he should to avoid your shots by getting his off. And that's exactly what happened with Steve Rolls taking on Edgar Berlanga. Berlanga should have then knew instinctively, cut off the ring, mix the fight up, okay, and get the job done. He didn't do that. Again, he looked for one punch at a time. He looked for stuff to come to him, which it didn't. And whenever you got a puncher like that as a custom for people to stand in front of them, that's what they want you to do. Unfortunately, people are not going to do what you want them to do, especially when it concerns you hurting them or you punching them in the mouth. It's not going to go that way. Okay, so for someone to feel frustrated, it just shows how one-dimensional he is. To have that mindset, man, he running. He didn't do this with Triple G. No, Triple G used that damn jab, cut off the ring, and bombarded him with punches. That's what Triple G did. What the hell you did, you came in really without using a jab, and when he did, it looked awkward. I've seen those guys trade jabs, and I seen Edgar come off his foot and push a jab at Steve Rolls. You know, and I'm like, okay, what the hell is that? So him saying, oh, these fighters are going to run. Well, you're going to run right into their punches with your face if you keep thinking that everybody is entitled to stand in front of you and fight. That's just another way for you to say, hey, you know what? I don't want to do my job by making it difficult or trying to find another way to get this guy out of here besides what I've learned to do all these other times. And you know what? I really don't want to, and I'm not interested. But since he's not interested, he's going to find himself in situations where he may be on the ground because people are going to figure out, guess what? This guy doesn't like to move. This guy doesn't know what the hell he's doing. And you know what? We're going to take full advantage of that. So you guys tell me what you think about my assessment on Edgar Berlanga Jr. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.